Welcome, everybody. We're very excited to have you on here. I'm actually broadcasting from Ruby Ridge Realty in Elko, Nevada. Our new team members here, they're very excited. There's Julie over here, and they're all in the room here, and John and Julie, and just a great group. Casey and Lydia, just great group of people. We did a lunch and learn earlier today that went really well. Did a model explain, lunch and learn, kind of the agent attraction boot camp, and just talked about a lot of great things, funnel pilot, all sorts of things. So they're going to build a huge organization up here. We're in their brand new office here, and looking forward to it. And she's right over here. Come over here and say hi. I have my virtual background on, so but anyway, I'd show you the beautiful office here too. It's going to be great. We're going to dominate the Elko area, and it's a great little town up here. And let's go ahead and get rolling. And we have a very special treat. We have Kyle Kunkel, and just a great, I met him through Brent. And so let me give you a little bit of introduction. We have somebody who's discovered something incredibly powerful, not just how to build a real estate business, but how to create leverage and attract people. Kyle has worked at 80-hour work weeks and spent 200,000 in 1 year on marketing, with 95% of it producing little or nothing. He knew there had to be a better way. He discovered webinars, YouTube, and eventually AI, and learned how to use the tools to attract qualified people rather than chase them. Today, Kyle has built a business that gives freedom, and he now helps agents do the same using marketing, technology, and traction strategies to build a business that grow beyond their own personal production. And so tonight, Kyle is going to share his strategies, real results, attracting agents, building relationships, and creating leverage. And we're excited to have you here, Kyle. And I heard you speak before. You're awesome. And you come extremely highly recommended by Brent Gove, which carries a lot of weight with us. So we appreciate it. So thank you for investing the time in sharing with us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Clark. Yeah, I'm honored to be here. It looks like a good group of people. We got 17 people here. Sounds like a new office partnering and joining, which is always fun and exciting. So, yeah, I'm excited to just share just a few things we've been working on and just what we're excited about. I'm happy to answer questions or what's working right now, what's not working. I know I've done, gosh, how many? I probably have done 35 to 38 events or so in like the last 6 or 7 months. And have a pretty good pulse on like what's working right now for agents and what's not. Because we don't want to just recruit agents that are not productive, right? We want to recruit agents that are cappers, right? 25 cappers is 100K. And then in order to make 100K, you would need to invest $1.3 million, in a 5% return investment strategy to be able to make that same money. So that's what excites me with this model. Plus, if you're interested in just producing, it's also a great place for that too. So I'm just going to share kind of what we've done and what we've been up to, and how it may benefit you. You guys can write down your questions or throw them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them, as they come in or towards the end or how that works. How much time do we have? Just like 20, 30 minutes, or I mean, I can
Yeah,
talk.
30 minutes is great. That'd be perfect,
Okay,
Kyle.
perfect. Yeah. Because we do like 4 hour workshops, so I can just talk for days but I
Yeah.
don't think anybody wants to be until midnight. So, um, what I'll say is I think the beauty of the business is being able to close business from anywhere, and that's kind of what this model allows you to do. So whether you're up in the mountains or putting your toes in the sand, like you can close business from anywhere with the computer, and that's the beauty of it. So I'll share here a little bit. uh Let me see here. I'll play a few testimonials just so you guys know I'm not blowing smoke or anything like that, because that's people don't need that.
Yeah.
So let me play a few testimonials here,
Yeah. I also
and then
set
I'll
you up
go.
as a co-host, so you can share screen if you
Okay,
need to
perfect.
or anything. Yeah. And
Yeah,
also
awesome.
just so you know, we have five in the office here, so we're over 20 on the call.
Okay,
So
awesome. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
Uh, all right, cool. Let me see here. All right. Okay, cool. So this is from the internet leads. So what we do is we turn quarter dimes and nickels into dollars. And so that's what we do. We do it on the agent attraction side. We do it on the production side, and we take strangers and turn them into customers because it's easy to do business with people you know. Um, that's that's easy, right? So doing it with complete strangers is a little bit harder because most agents, I feel they build their business on the truth is they build it on their economy, right? So, like when the economy is great, they're doing great, and when it's not, they're not. And so it's almost like the tide. And so Warren Buffett has a funny quote, but he says when the tide goes out, who's swimming with their shorts down, right? And that's when there's always opportunity, whether it's investing in real estate or it's in in the attraction side of stuff. So, um, with that said, this is just on the production side. As far as attraction side, we're helping a few people do really well right now. You can look them up. So Glenn Torres in Florida, he's the number one attractor in Florida right now. You can look up Tierney Jordan. She's recruited 35 agents in Cabo. Um, there's just a handful of agents that are running events, running webinars that are allowing them to be able to attract agents at a high level and not just chasing, right? An attractor is someone you become, right? It's not something that you just are, right? It's something that you become. So let me play this. And this is on, and so what we do is you know, we don't EXP over on people, right? We really show them that we can help them grow their production business. Now you know the teams and the people who are going to be builders and stuff like that, they really get excited about the model. Like we just attracted a guy out of California, Santa Barbara area, and he's like ready to take over the world, right? And those are the people that you're like, yeah, like let's go. And so seeing those guys get excited about what we do and getting plugged into a system is really the difference. And I think, you can talk about systems all day, but that's really the truth, right? So if you're not building it, you got to slow down to speed up. And so that's why you need to build your business on systems, not just hard work and effort and energy and all of those things. Like effort is the energy to overcome resistance, but at the same time, you still need to be able to build a system that once it's built, you don't have to keep trying to rebuild something, right? So let me play this testimonial. These are leads that have come in from the internet that we've converted just from the internet. So, and this is for production. Let me see if it plays here. Let me see. Hold up.
What's kind of the price point you guys are looking for?
Oh, probably 3 to 4. I moved it up from about 1.8.
50 with everything.
$3.5 million. Some of the homes are 4 or 5 million.
Qualified for 1.2.
Looking for like 750.
Buy our house about 1.1 million.
Hey, I just wanted to invite you to our inner circle calls where we help agents.
So those are all leads from the internet that came in looking to basically spend more than $1 million, right? From the internet, right? This isn't expires, FISBOs. This isn't chasing. This is attracting and people who are. I mean, imagine waking up with people who wanted to do business with you, who are calling you versus you, chasing them, and that's really the difference. Is someone coming pre-exposed to your offer. Warren Buffett says 50% of your success is your ability to clearly articulate your value proposition. So if you can't clearly articulate what makes you different and why someone should do business with you or why someone should go to your exp world or versus going to real or wherever else, like if you can't clearly articulate why someone should do business with you or why they should work with you, then you're already at failing, right? And so you have to understand like what your true value proposition is, and you should be able to clearly articulate it in just a few sentences. Here's a gal named Sherry. She's been in the business for 20 years. Here, I'll please play it.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hawkins. About 2 months ago, I attended an event that's exactly like this one. And honestly, it was packed with information. It was exciting, but also a lot to process. As always, I take time to pray about everything first. And the more I reflected, especially with how fast the world is changing and how AI is shaping our industry, I realized this isn't an option anymore. We have to adapt. What really stood out for me were the systems and the clear takeaways. So I finally made the decision to launch the new construction funnel. I've only been live for about a month. I've already received 27 leads. I've set several up on the RMLS, and the most recent one was $1 million buyer. That alone confirmed I made the right decision. I'm genuinely excited for what's ahead. 2026, bring it on.
So Sherry Hockett, she's in the Portland market. She's already crushing it. You know, she does about 15, 25 deals on her own. So whenever someone adds one of our funnels, they usually add another, 12 to 20 deals a year, which would make them an icon agent, right? Which is what you want. So you want to get people to be able to icon. Here's an example of what it looks like. So this isn't a market I'm not even licensed in. This is in the Scottsdale market. Anyone from Scottsdale, throw it in the chat. Love to connect with you when we're down there. But I ran a buyer webinar, and she watched the recording of our buyer webinar. She jumped on our calendar. I spent, what does it say? 36 minutes and 19 seconds. And she was like ecstatic to work with us, right? And she'll be, she's buying like a $500,000 condo now, and then she'll go ahead and she'll buy like a 1.3 in McCormick Ranch when she's ready. And that came from a buyer webinar that was pre-recorded that she just watched the recording on and jumped on my calendar, and I spent, 35 minutes. Cool. Well, looking forward to helping you guys. And do you have any questions for me?
No, just let's keep it going. I'm very excited.
All right, let's go. Cool. All right, we'll talk to you soon, and I'm going to make that connection right now. So
Thank you. I
be on the
appreciate
lookout for that.
Thank you for your time. Enjoy time with your daughter.
I will. All right, I'll play one more test. Well,
engaging more conversation.
Let me play one more.
Did a $2 million buyer close that came through the funnel and ROI and the whole thing.
What?
Yeah, and believe it or not, it closed on 12/31, meaning
last year,
New Year's Eve day. And they did
great.
a remote control. They were skiing out in Colorado and did a closing, and I was in Phoenix, and it closed in Wisconsin.
There we go.
All right. You guys don't need to guess how old Steve is, but you can guess he's a little bit older, and he runs our funnels and he crushes it. So that's kind of the bottom line. Let me share a little bit about myself, briefly, and just kind of a formula that I believe is a success formula. And so I believe you take what you're passionate about. So whether it's hunting and fishing or golf or tennis or your kids or cooking, whatever you're passionate about, like everybody has a passion, something that gets somebody excited, right? What gets you excited? And that's truly should be a part of your formula for your business, right? That should be part of your content. That should be part of the way that you attract people, plus talent. Now, everybody's got talent. You look at the Bible, right? So the one guy who had 1 talent, 5 talents, 3 talents and 5 talents, or 5 talents and 10 talents, depending on what, chapter you're reading out of, or book you're reading out of, because there's that parable's told multiple times. And you see the guy who buries it, right? And his master says, like, you wicked person, like, why would you bury it? And that's almost like taking your talent and putting it in the ground. And now it's not, and it's not just your talent as in like your gifts, but it's also the kingdom of God, right? So it's kind of like a dual meaning here. And then there's the guy who has the 3 talents and the 5 talents. And the one guy goes and doubles it, and the other guy doubles it and says, what's been given to you, he takes the 1 talent and he gives it to the other guy. And so if you look at how much that was worth back in the day, that was worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even some people say millions of dollars. And so for somebody to be given that much money, and then for someone to hide it, is a shame. And so don't hide your talents. Like there's a quote that says, when you get to heaven, God's going to ask you two questions. What did you do with the gifts that I've given you? And who did you bring with you? And so it's very much like that's it. Like, what are you doing with the gifts that God's given you? And who are you bringing with you? And it's not just like to EXP. Like, I could care less if someone joins EXP. You know, Brent says that there's some people who are supposed to be with the Remaxes and the Sotheby's, and, you know, God has an assignment for them. But what's your assignment? What are you doing with the gifts that God's given you? So how do you bring in your talent and your gifts into the business, right? Times association. So collaboration is the new currency. I believe who you collaborate with in the next, just currently right now is going to make a big difference. Like, collaboration is a true currency. And when you can learn from someone and let their ceiling be your floor, it could wipe off so many mistakes that you don't have to make. Like, there's developers that we talk with, there's people, you know, in the traction side that we go and learn from, because we want to get a seat at the table, but we also, which means we're willing to give up more, but we're also wanting to not make the same mistakes, right? Because those mistakes could cost you, you know, years and years and years and time, right? And time is the most valuable asset that you have. And divided by action. I used to say time action, like massive action, like times the action. But I believe divided by action, because success is your sum of your decisions divided by time. So if it takes you 6 months to make a decision, but it takes me 3 days because I have a decision-making formula, I can realize that I've made the wrong move and pivot quicker. And you're still twiddling your thumbs trying to figure out if you should make that move or not. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't consider the cost before you build, but that's called having a decision-making formula. It's called having a system, right? If you need to make a decision, you need to do a SWOT analysis on it, right? What's the strengths? What's the weakness? What's the opportunities and what's the threats? And if you don't have a system for making decisions, then you're just completely I don't know. I used to be like that. I used to take, because I didn't have it all figured out, right? And I'll share that on my next slide. I don't want to jump ahead. And then plus faith. Faith comes through hearing, and in order to hear something, you have to speak it, right? It says if you were to tell that mountain to throw itself into the sea and believe it'll be done for you, and you have faith to believe it'll be done for you. Like, that's the type of faith that you want, is faith to move mountains. And it says faith comes through hearing. In order to hear something, you have to speak it. And I'm not so much like name it, claim it, but I am very much like the words that you have power. And that is your success formula. So take your passion plus your talent times your association divided by your action plus your faith is going to equal success, right? And success can look different for everybody. Success could be living up in the mountains we went camping this last weekend for my daughter's birthday at, like, I think we were at 9,800 in Silverton, Colorado. I live in Durango, and it's a small little sleepy mountain town, mining town. And we had like 23 kids come up with their families, and it was like an awesome camping trip for a couple of nights. And we're like, man, we could just live out here. I mean, obviously, some people can, maybe we couldn't, but it's just like so nice to get away and like look up the stars and just have no, your work. Like, how do you put it? Like, there's just the places that you feel alive, right? And I feel alive most when I'm with my family on an adventure. You know, that's where I feel alive, and that's where I want to spend most of my time, because time really is the most valuable asset that you have. And whether you're a billionaire or you got negative dollars in the bank account, like, everybody's got the same amount of time. And so what are you doing with your time, like I said. With that, I've had successes, I've had failures. Clarke mentioned some of the failures that I've had. So some of you guys are probably like, why is this guy talking to us, right? But it took me 12 times to pass my real estate test. Let's just put it that way, right? It took me 12 times to pass my real estate test. If anyone's beat that, let me know. Out of the 30 some events, like, no one's beat that. I spent $200,000 when I made only 400 in marketing, to realize that 95% of it was just a bunch of pixie dust, right? Not real. I've had a foreclosure on an investment property because I didn't run a SWOT analysis, because I was trying to be too greedy, because I wanted more, right? But I've also had some successes. I made $222K my first year in real estate. My first transaction was $37K after I'd failed my test 12 times. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do this real estate thing. I did 200, 300, 400, 800. And then I made $563,000 from my computer in 30 days. And I thought, you know what, I think I can help a lot of people. And that's when I started, realizing that the attraction thing was a lot of fun. And I truly enjoy coaching agents. I can sell real estate all day. But there's something about helping someone else, and even helping, and the multiplication really comes when you actually help someone else attract, right? That's the difference. When you help someone else attract and build a story and build a brand and build a model or a system that helps people attract, right? That's really the difference. So I did that with one funnel for my computer. It was a cash offer funnel, a system that allows you to write, different offer or multiple offers for any house up to $5 million, and coming to the listing appointment with an offer makes a big difference. And so they don't write on everything, but they write on a lot of things, and it allows you to fulfill that offer. And it's the best offer out there. The top 13 teams in the country run it. So if you're looking at growing your team and attracting agents, running a cash offer funnel makes a lot of sense. I mean, you look at Mark Spain, Chris Lindell, even Veronica Figueroa, her best year in the business. I think she had only done like maybe 800 transactions, or maybe it was 1,200 transactions. And then she went to like over 2,000 transactions. In the year she did that, she started running cash offer. And so if you look at some of the big players in EXP's world, or any world in the real estate world, they run a cash offer. So that there's a reason why the top 13 teams run it. And so we teach a lot of our agents to lead with the best offer, because if you want to be the best, you have to compete with the best, and this offer allows you to do that, and it allows you to fulfill it. So that's the biggest thing. You don't want to just make offers without being able to fulfill it. So anyways, let me just escape out of that. I can play that. Like, if you want to check out, you can just screenshot this, but you can follow me on Instagram or on YouTube. I'd love to, you can follow the journey of what we're doing and how we're helping agents, and just, I'm really honestly focused now on the right alignment, like a God-driven program that allows agents to get alignment, because I ran my business out of alignment. And so for me, it's very much God, right? Your faith, and then your family, and then for me, fitness, and then finances. And when you get into alignment, you truly do start to attract the business and attract agents and attract, real estate business. And there's something, God just wants our hearts. And a lot of times I feel like we get stuck in our heads. Like, you may know that God loves you, right? But do you know it in your heart? And if you knew it in your heart, the wellspring of your heart, right? It overflows. And so, that's, I think if you change your questions, you change your life. And so asking the right questions about your business, asking the right questions about your marriage, asking the right questions about your business, your family, your kids. Like, if you really start to ask the right questions, it's hard to go there sometimes, but it sharpens you. And iron sharpens iron. And that's the only way that we get through this life, is with other people, like Clarke and Brent, and people who are going to sharpen you. Like, that's what you want. You don't want someone to be like, oh yeah, good job, keep going. Maybe you need someone to be like, hey, why are you sleeping in? Why are you not showing up? Where are you at on these calls? Why are you, you need accountability. And accountability is huge. That's why you need collaboration, not just for like the buddy system, or like, good job, buddy, but you need somebody to call you out, and sharpen you. We have a system called SPAR. So we sharpen, we pray, we affirm people, and we repent. And that simple system, changes things. We're, we were blessed, on our camping trip to do a little church on Sunday in the mountains, just a little circle of us, and we were talking over Psalms 31. And I've memorized maybe the first chapter, but it's like, oh Lord, I trust you. Like, oh Lord, I trust you. Let me never be ashamed. I think, living an unashamed life, an unashamed, business life, even unashamed of being at EXP. There's some people who are like, kind of like secret EXP agents. It's like, no, why are you being, don't be ashamed. I mean, you don't want to pee on EXP on people, but you don't want to be ashamed either. You don't want to be ashamed of Jesus. You don't want to be ashamed of what you believe in. I don't care what you believe in. You don't want to be ashamed of it. Right. And so let me never be ashamed. And it said, deliver me and what does it say? It says, deliver me, um, deliver me in your righteousness, right? Deliver me in your righteousness. And I think, the idea of seeking first God's kingdom and his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. The Beatitudes is that wasn't the Beatitudes, but the quote that talks about, the righteousness. And so, yeah, those are, one of the things we talked about is principle without the prince, without the King of Kings is really just empty. You can hear a lot of people, take principles from the Bible and make it into business practice, but without the King, it's really just hollow. And so don't get stuck in just good principles. So I can go over the funnels. I can go over our event model. I can go over, our webinar model. We know the math. I think understanding the math is super important. Knowing, like, we have 70 some people that register for our events. We spend $1,000 per event. We'll get 35 to 40 people in the room, depending on it. Sometimes depending on the city, right? We'll get 30 people in the room. And then we have self-liquidating offers, right? We have ability to offers that, because I ran events on my own. The first event I spent five grand, right? $5,000 I spent on this event, and I got 2 recruits, right? 2 recruits. You can't, and for most people, you can't just keep spending $5,000 and get 2 recruits and you're just going to run out of money, right? And so you need to have good money models, right? You need to be able to make money along the way as you recruit. And so we have products that allow us to self-liquidate our events, that allow us to make, good MRR, monthly recurring revenue. And so it allows us to be able to continue to do events and self-liquidate those events and be able to continue to do it. And you're like, well, why do you do events? We do events for 2 reasons. One is because there's something about kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly, just like you guys all know, right? There's something about seeing someone in person. There's a higher quality agent that shows up to the event versus not. I think Clarke might have said it when I heard him share at Brent's little mastermind there in the Marriott. He said we are in a event model, right, where you invite from event to event. So we put on our own events to create that atmosphere. Then we put on a 2-day event where they go and they spend, because it's hard. Sometimes you can convert people. We'll convert on average 3 people off the top, right? But it's about the database. Database marketing is key. You have to understand how to database marketing and become the celebrity agent. All of those things really work together. And so, we have an acquisition process. The acquisition process is YouTube. When you stop talking and you stop making money, you don't have a business, you have a job, right? So if you're not leveraging video, you're missing out huge, right? There's a reason why somebody spends 45 minutes on the phone or on watching a VSL, a video sales letter, before they get on the call with you. It's the same thing with Brent's Y Partner, right? Why do people watch Y Partner? It's because they eliminates 90% of their objections. And by the time they get on the phone with you, you can have an effective conversation, right? So I don't spend time with somebody unless they watch the Y Partner video, right? So it's important, even after they've been to a live event and spent 4 hours with me. And the reason, event versus webinar, there's pluses and minuses. You can capture someone's attention for 4 hours versus capturing their attention, maybe half attention, for 45 minutes when they're making calls, returning text messages, dealing with their kids during a webinar, right? Those all work with recruiting. But there's something about, someone spending 4 hours with you. Because the people who spend 4 hours with me, when I make a call, here, let me stop sharing my screen. I think there's a delay.
There we go.
I think it's a little bit. Yeah. So when you spend 4 hours with somebody, they're going to take my phone call, versus when I don't spend 4 hours with them, it's not going to be the same, right? And then the webinar, just scalability. I can run it once a week. I don't have to fly to a city. I can do it from home. I can still have good conversion. If you spend $1,000 to, on ads for an event, imagine spending $1,000 for your webinar, right? So you're going to get not quite as high quality of an agent, but we still convert, right? And we lead with how we can help them in production. That's how we lead. And you call out what you get. So if you want team leaders, you call them out. Hey, attention team leaders. If you want, I never finished the acquisition process, but the acquisition process is, leveraging YouTube. When you stop talking and you stop making money, you don't have a business, you have a job. Leveraging retargeting ads when you can retarget someone and impress on them over and over again with your value proposition. There's a reason why when you click on something, whether it's a watch, a car, a purse, and all of a sudden you keep seeing it over and over and over again. It's the same thing. Retargeting ads, newsletters. We run a weekly newsletter. It goes out every single week. We run survey database. Your success with your database, whether it's for production or attraction, is elastic to your communication with it. So you should have a top 100 for attraction. You should have a top 100 for production, and you should have a day once a month where you go through and call them. Simply just to use the Ford method: family, occupation, recreation, dreams, just to have a conversation with no agenda, right? If you show that you are so interested in them, they will show interest in you, right? That's what you want. That's what you want to do. And if you change your questions and if you ask the right questions, it will change your life. And that goes with other people. What else is on that acquisition process? That really runs it. There's the automation that we use through Attract ROI. All of that is just a CRM system. And then we're using AI agents, to convert on production and attraction. Being able to get into conversation almost like an ISA. We have our OpenClaw getting built out, to be able to run as a 5 to 10 employees versus just 1 or 2. If you're not leveraging AI, you're really missing the boat. There's a major opportunity with it, and that may be a big learning curve for some, or maybe scary others, or whatever it is, but strongly encourage you to lean into it and surround yourself with people who can show you how to leverage it in your business and your life. And it's fun, and it's fun. That's just the easy way to put it. I talked for about 30 minutes, so I'm happy to answer questions. I don't want to bore with a bunch of slides.
Kyle, we really appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions for Kyle?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Nye.
Yeah, Kyle, thank you very much, man. Great energy. I love your terminology, the whole 9 yards. I wanted to find out, what does your day look like? Any days between Monday to Sunday? I think there's an issue with sound.
Yeah, did you hear that, Kyle? I think you're
What does my day look
in and out on your internet.
What's a typical day for you, Kyle?
I think your internet is freezing a little bit.
Are you talking about
just what do you do, like tasks and all that?
Let me try to connect from my phone.
Yeah, just want to know, Clarke, how he organizes his day, and what's the most important task, how he does spend his mornings versus late morning, afternoon, or whatnot.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, a sharp guy.
Yeah, very sharp.
No, I can hear you. Hold on.
Yeah, you might shut off your camera. I think that because I think your camera's maybe taking up more bandwidth. Okay, I just admitted Kyle back in. Okay. You're on mute, Kyle.
Okay, I just.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you much better. You're on mute, Kyle.
Hold on.
I think his cameras are maybe taking too much.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I think can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's much better.
All right, I just switched to my phone. I was trying to get off the. Let me get a sip of water here real quick.
Okay.
I have another camera going over here. So if you guys want that recording, it might be a little bit better.
Awesome.
For some reason. Yeah, what does my day look like?
Yeah.
So as far as like my hours and where I spend my time.
Sure.
Yeah. So like I do have a morning routine. I like to wake up, between 4:30, somewhere right in there.
Wow.
It's not perfect every day. But in a perfect world, yeah. I mean, I woke up I think at 4:20 today, and by the time I got out of bed, it was 4:50 something, to be honest. And I hurried to my workout. I pray on the way to my workout, listen to worship, pray for my family. Those are some of the things, and then I'll work out either at the house or there's a group of guys that I work out with. I'll work out with them, and then on the way back from that workout, I took a strategy call with a mentor and went over just a model and math. And then usually morning is what I call maker work. Maker work is kind of like where you're in that creative space where you're allowed to, kind of work on the one thing or the biggest thing that's going to move your needle for your business. And then from like 9 to 11 is prospecting. So whether you're prospecting for agent attraction or production, you should spend that time prospecting. So whether that's DMing agents or calling them or all of those things, our world, we spend more time in the creative space. So creating content that, like I said, when you stop talking, you stop making money. You don't have a business, you have a job. So if you create a video that is going to be able to be played and it's going to add value to the agent, then they're going to watch it over and over and over again. And at that point, I'd rather spend my time creating content, shooting that video, getting it on YouTube, and then allowing them to consume it, and then getting into my calendar that way. You could, if you do have short conversations with higher producing agents, it's, getting into, we do use a certain close, but it's very question based in how we close people. But you're not going to close a team or really any agent, right? Ego and everything else gets in the way. You're not going to just cold call an agent and close them. That's just not how it works, right? And so it's really asking the question, like, what's the biggest rock on their shoe or problem they're trying to solve? And when they answer that, right, you don't want to just deliver on what they have or what you have, right? Whether you're helping them with their team and their systems, or they need a lead generation thing, or they need more leads for their, their agents or their teams or whatever their problem is, right? You don't want to just tell them what you have. You want to ask what their problem is. What's the biggest thing they're trying to solve in their business right now? And then from that, you can position or frame what you do or your value proposition into that, and say, for example, like, yeah, we'll help an agent with what we call a cash cow. We'll run a cash cow system for them where they can basically leverage YouTube and video and our acquisition process to be able to land anywhere from 3 to 4 deals from the internet. And if that's, they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. Or, oh yeah, for my team, I could really use, every agent getting 1 or 2 deals extra, depending on, all of those. And there's gritty questions, and you're not going to close them on any of that, right? You're going to say, hey, awesome. Well, what I'd love for you to do is check out my webinar. It's 45 minutes. It goes over what works, what doesn't work, how we do it. You're going to get some big takeaways, and what's below it is my calendar. So grab a time on my calendar. There's going to be another video that you watch. You position that like, hey, there's going to be another video that you watch. And that is the Y partner video, right? And so you can play Brent's Y partner video. It's awesome. You can play someone else's Y partner video. It's awesome. But the second that you start to create your own Y partner video, it positions you, right, as kind of that go-to person. It positions your brand. And at that point, then you can start to leverage other people, and use other people to, after they've already watched yours. So there's a whole, video sales letter. That's all VSL stands for. But it's anywhere from a 3-minute to,
I mean, the Y partner video is a minimum of 45 minutes, right? So they just spent 45
Mhm.
minutes with you on the webinar. They just spent another 45 minutes with you on your Y partner. They're getting onto the call knowing that it's an EXP call, right? And if that's the case, you're going to know with just a few questions. And then we go over, we basically do a question based selling on what they want. And we go through certain questions to figure out what they're looking what's their biggest problem and how we could solve it. And EXP is part of that solution, along with our marketing and AI strategies and all of those things. So that's kind of how we would prospect, right? We prospect a little bit different, and then the afternoons usually it's meetings. So I think of the mornings as prospecting, afternoons as strategy calls. Freedom Friday, cutting out early to hang out with the family, stuff like that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then just trying to protect your time.
Yeah, I'd love to stay connected with you. So we'll scan the barcode. You have time, right, to help out?
Great.
Yeah, I'll give you guys my cell phone. It's 970
Mhm.
710
Mhm.
1230. And I always say, if you think you should have called me, you should have already called me. Shoot me a text. I'll get back to you
Awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
And happy to answer questions or tell you what we're doing, or say, hey, whatever, help you guys in whatever way, help Clarke in whatever way.
Excellent, man.
Great.
Love your energy. Thank you so much.
Kyle, that was excellent. That was fire the last, 10 minutes on answering that question along with everything else. We so appreciate you investing time, taking away from your family. And of course, you're at a different time zone too, so it's a little bit later for you. And I'll probably see you. I'm going to be at the Build in Denver next week.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so I'm going to be with Brent. We have some guests we're bringing out from Florida and some
Yeah.
other agents we have in the area. So it's going to be a great build, and again, appreciate your time, and again, give our best to your family, and blessings to you and your family. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
blessings to you guys. And sorry about I'm at a cabin here, so sorry about the
No, that's
spotty
okay.
internet.
Hey, I'm glad you're at a cabin. That's a good thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Cool,
Well,
guys.
all
Awesome.
right. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Bye
And
bye.
I'm going to take a few minutes and just do a little bit of, what's upcoming. And hang on a second here. Just share. Oops, forgot something here. Sorry about that. Okay, share again. There we go. Okay, excellent. Yeah, Kyle is brilliant. Just the things he does. He's connected with Michael Reese and, of course, Jay Kender. And so let me just click this right. There we go. Okay, good. Got it right. Okay, and so just this is the event that we did today in Elko, Nevada. Did it at the Chamber of Commerce, and just a great turnout. A lot of great people. We're going to build great things over here in Elko and everywhere we go. And one of the things we shared was the business doesn't stay in one location, as we know from people on this call are all over the country. And a reminder, I love this very simple plan, and I used three tiers on this. It came from Brent because automatically when you join EXP, you open up three tiers. So you bring on a team, and this is very simple math, 10 that bring on 10 that bring on five. And that's kind of the example. Incidentally, there is a new rev share calculator that is coming out. Brent worked on it. It's a lot simpler to use, and it kind of mirrors the old one that we had years ago. That some of you have that little 6-minute video. This is just a very simple approach to what we do. Like what Kyle was talking about. Invite them to a web.
The goal is, hey man, if I could help you add 2 to 3 deals a month to your business, would you be open to it if it didn't cost you anything? How many of you the answer would be yes? You like paying Zillow 41%? Anybody? What if you didn't have to pay a referral fee, you didn't have to pay a split, you didn't have to pay anything, no upfront fees, no upsells, no nothing, and they just did it all for you? Would you be open to it? Hey, join my webinar on Thursday. If that was your recruiting message, do you think you could become a recruiter? You think you could recruit 1 a month or be a rock star like me and do 2 a month? Right.
So just, one of the things we shared in the agent attraction portion of the webinar, or excuse me, of the seminar I did today, was just talking about keeping it simple. Simple scales, complexity fails, is the old saying. In fact, Tony Robbins says that. I recommend, if you haven't already, get on the live call this Thursday and kind of see what it's all about. You invite people to live call. About 50% of the people that join that live call usually join us in EXP. We co-sponsor with Jay Kinder, and we start building, because the beauty about co-sponsoring is you can connect with somebody that can offer what you don't offer. And that's one of the great things about the funnel pilot program. So expand with Clarke.com/live. You can go on there and just jump on it, check it out, just register for it. You'll get an invitation and just check it out. And I like this one too.
Hoo-wee, man, I am tired of seeing all these ridiculous models and people charging real estate agents money. Geez, Louise, can somebody just help them? Like, we need help. When I got in this business, they should have gave me a plaque that said, figure it out. It ain't easy. You don't know what to use, what to buy, how to get clients. Should you knock doors? I mean, I don't know. You might get shot. I don't even know how many doors you got to knock to find someone that wants to. I don't even answer my door anymore. They're still teaching real estate agents to do this stuff. Open house every Sunday. That's a ton of work for what? One conversation, two good conversations, maybe. If you want to sell more houses, you have to increase conversations per day with people who want to buy and sell, and ideally in the next 90 days, and are open to doing business with you. Okay, what's the best, fastest, easiest way to do that? Well, I built a $100,000 a month team that does it all for you, and I don't want your money. I don't need a referral fee. I don't need a split. I don't need you to pay me up front. I don't need you to join my Facebook group. I ain't a marketer trying to get you to do something that I'm going to sell you upsell you later. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you because I was sick and tired of having to deal with this in my own business, and I finally did figure it out, and now I'm going to do it for you, and I'm not going to charge you. So check it out. Register and watch it, and come back here and show some love in the post, because there's going to be a bunch of haters going, yeah, he's going to sell you something. So come back and show some love in the post when I told you I wasn't going to charge you nothing.
So again, that's the webinar that Jay does every Thursday. So this Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where he goes through the whole program. And they're constantly refining it too, just getting it dialed in, especially with AI that they're using and working very well. And again, not the only option, but
they're going
to go. Also on Brent Gove's site, this is a seminar that Jay did for us in Sacramento. It's a couple hours long, some really great information in it, several cuts you've already seen coming out of it. And so that's on Brent Gove's YouTube channel. And the results that we get, 50% of the people we talk to, we register. 50% of the people that re-register for the webinar show up, and then 50% get started. I've been in the business a long time. I've not seen ratios like that in agent attraction. And so when you're on that program, we have a fire service. I highly recommend it. He goes through, in fact, he went through all 7 pillars of agent attraction this last last Monday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, Zoom with Albie is all about mindset and personal development. Everything is 7 a.m. And then we do a Accelerate Apprentice Team Talk, 5 p.m. Every Monday, where I go through information and kind of help us fine tune what we're doing. And then the next one is going to be this Monday, the 24th at 5 p.m. And of course, this is my agent attraction site that my assistant developed for me and is willing to develop it for you if you want to go this direction with agent attraction. And the secret has always been in this business, you build it event to event, because that's how we use leverage to the max, is you get people to an event, and the fastest way to change your life is to change who you're around every day. Like Tony Robbins says, the most significant factor in changing your future is who you spend your time with, is who you become. And so do you have a list of names for the event coming up? We have EXPCon as the next major event coming up. And then we have our build event the next month in Las Vegas. So set goals for that. I set goals for every function, and the results are there. I mean, the people that get to the functions, it's a business that it has to be caught, not taught. And although there's some teaching involved, and this is I didn't have the Las Vegas one. is now the site is live. So you go to buildevent26.com, click on the Vegas one, and all the information's there now. It just went live this last week. And then we have for September 1st, our team huddle. We have Wendy Goss. She's awesome. One of the top agents in all of EXP for luxury, drives a Jeep, rides a Harley, just a great, authentic, very authentic. And her systems are phenomenal. And this 20% code is still active for EXPCon, 20% off your ticket. And then we get the opportunity. Brent is doing a special breakout. We don't know the exact room yet, but it's going to be close to the main room, 1 to 3 p.m. And look at the speakers there. We have Jay Kinder, we have Tina Call, we have Courtney Twist, Leo. We have John Pooh, who we've had on, Casey Council. I mean, all the top attractors, Larry White, just very, we've had some of them on our inner circle call, but that's from 1 to 3 p.m. on the 7th. Then immediately after that, we go right into the main session where Gary V is going to be, the mainline speaker. And then we have a special VIP reception. It's back at the Hilton, where we're using the presidential suite for Brent. That's at 8 o'clock on my wife's birthday. 8 o'clock. She won't be there, but I'll make it up to her. You see her smile there. I always make it up to her. And and this is the schedule. We have a simplified schedule. I think we have that posted on our site now. And it shows a 1 to 3 p.m. Catch the Wave breakout, and it shows the VIP on October 8th also from 8 to 9:30. And then we have Curtis Johnson coming this Thursday and Friday. Thursday will be at Placer County Association Realtors for those local, and then El Dorado Hills Town Center at the Holiday Inn on the 21st. And we have great people coming in. And then, of course, on Zoom, we have the 1% Club every Tuesday, and pretty much every single day of the week, you have something you can plug into. So again, our next team huddle, September 1st, 6 p.m., same station, same time. And our next inner circle will be September 15th. I'm going to ask Brent if he can come in. He just did the most phenomenal, I was on Brent's inner circle earlier today, most phenomenal boot camp on agent attraction. Really well done. And I'm going to see if he's going to be available and jump on there. If not, we'll have another very high impact speaker. And then catch the wave. The wave is coming. Typical cycles, real estate always cycles. It's typical 4 to 6 years. We're 4 years into it. Somewhere between the next now and 24 months, we're going to see an upswing. And the people who are going to benefit the most are the ones who are putting in the time and effort now. Because when you paddle for a wave, before it gets here, and then you could ride the crest of the wave to succeed to whatever level you want to succeed. And hey, let's go out, have a lot of fun, make a lot of money. More importantly than anything, let's make a difference in other people's lives. So great to be with you on the call. Great to see everybody in smiling faces and great attendance for in August. Most everybody's on vacation right now. But anyway, great to see everybody and have a fantastic rest of the week. And we'll see you on Zoom. See y'all later.